Well, it's been a little while since I've done something like this, but I have just completed Phantom Liberty, and I had a few thoughts. Pardon my rambling and digressions and mouth noises and contemplations but firstly, they changed so much with the game. I had to spend a couple of days just familiarizing myself with the changes. And then I really enjoyed the expansion. It was really exciting, and it was really entertaining, and there was a lot of really fun stuff to do. And I'm disappointed, which I'll get back to. And just that, and then I've gotten a lot of comments on some of my older videos from a couple years ago, just location for loot and things of that nature, which I imagine maybe they've been removed since because of all these changes, loads of changes. So most of the loot videos I made in the first year of the game, just the first couple of months of the game, most of those things have been changed, I assume. I haven't played through from the start to see just how drastic the progression of the game is. Last time I started a new game, it was with this character, V. I call her my Mach 3 V. And, you know, this is a moment just before going to the rooftop and ending the game. And that's part of my disappointment as well. I was disappointed that they took away the majority of the crafting abilities. There's no crafting in this tree at all anymore. It's all just stuff relating to tech weapons and healing items and things. They changed things so drastically as far as the skill trees. I only got the few things I really need. I mistakenly put an 11th point into reflexes, not realizing that I needed to get to 15 to unlock the next batch of skills, and I'm not really using any of them. So I wasted a point thinking I needed more reflexes. I maxed out my technical, and I maxed out the relic stuff, but my body I brought up to 15 so I could do most of the heavy lifting. I wore my gorilla arms for most of it for the extra bonus. They finally fixed the gorilla arms so they work the way they've always said they would, which is they give you extra strength to open stuff and muscle through things. But technical ability, maxing that out, even though there's no more crafting, was still useful because there's a lot of things you need maxed out tech ability for to get through things and things like that. Cool is really good to go higher with, I found, because there's a lot of situations where being really cool is really awesome. I already had maxed intelligence because my Netrunner build. But the relic stuff was something that people theorized early on in the game. Well, maybe this is an unused skill tree. And they were right. It turned out to be what's eventually the Militech branch of skills. I've maxed all those out. But, they're nothing special. These ones are 3 each. 3 points each. The rest are 1 point each. There's exactly as many points as you need when you find them. But, yeah, I mean, they made a lot of changes. Inventory's basically the same, except none of the gear really has any stats anymore. Except select things. Quick hack damage on a suit. Upload time. Some extra armor. That's supposed to have armor on it, but looks like it's changed with a patch or something. But anyway, some new weapons and stuff. I'm not going to go in great detail about the new weapons or anything like that. There's loads of them. I'm mostly using nothing but the iconics at this point. They've removed upgrading from anything but the iconics. So if it's not an iconic, you can't upgrade it. And I was using mostly standard weapons at first because of the lack of they took away all the mod slots, so now the only thing you can mod it with is a scope and a silencer or whatever, ricochet thing. So I was using this weapon because you get a mod that you can move around that gives extra tech weapon damage and stuff. Lots of mods. I mean, and most of the mods, I had loads of mods in my stash, so I could make top level mods. You can make mods. It's about the only thing you can make now is mods. The map's what the map is. But yeah, I mean, try not to ramble too much. I am, after all, an autistic person, so I tend to lose my train of thought and ramble. But I'm gonna get to my points. I'm gonna stop moving the mouse around now. Oh, well, anyway, after some pondering and some thinking about it, I do have to say that I made the video of what I don't like about, I think it's like Why I Hate Johnny was what it was called. And I've had a lot of people, or at least more than a handful of people, comment on it that they also hated Johnny. And I'm going to retread that territory a little bit, and I'm going to try to wrap it up with my basic thoughts and my overall reaction as far as the content and the whole thing. Mostly just want to talk about my earliest impressions of the story and the plot and the endings and all that, and then mostly want to take a moment to say that, pardon my smacking sound there just now, but I hated the endings. Most people did. I hated the endings because you can't cure your character. Your V is forever doomed. And it's annoying that Johnny's still there even after all the work you went through to get rid of him. Now, having 3 years to play the game. 3 years to play the game, and gotten used to that being the way it ends, and doing several endings as far as, like, I think I've done all of them except the Arasaka ending, because I just don't feel like it. And it seems really boring. But, and then, so, yeah, I think I reached a peak about halfway through the expansion content where I was just having so much fun immersing myself in the Dogtown environment and stealing cars for Capitan and just having a great time with it. And getting in car chases and shooting at people and having just a blast. And I kind of wish I had just lingered there longer and not moved along with the story. Because once you start moving along with the story, it pushes you, and there's basically nothing you can do except continue. And I should have foreseen that. I mean, I went into this expansion knowing full well there's a 99.9% chance this is all a farce and it's going to be for nothing. Because the previous endings were all farcical and they were for nothing. And of course, spoilers heavy, this is a farce and it is all for nothing. You still end up... I need to rephrase this. Now, it's not... The disappointment comes from the ending. In that, with my video I made of Why I Hate Johnny, I put a lot of emphasis on the fact that we go through this process to get rid of him, and then at the end of the game, they drop you back into the world with Johnny still stuck in your fucking head, and you still have to listen to him every time he has something to say. And it's annoying after going through all that to get rid of him and playing the different endings trying to get rid of him. One thing I am disappointed about is in this ending, Johnny's oblivious to whether or not you have played the other endings yet. So his whole perspective is we haven't tried any of the other options. So the whole time I'm saying to him personally, yes, we know it doesn't work, Johnny. We've tried it. Yes, we did the fucking rogue mission. We did the one where we go with the Nomads. We did the one where we just blaze of glory. We did the one where we blow our brains out. We've done the endings except the Arasaka ending. All of the endings with 3 different Vs. 2 Nomads and a Street Kid. This is my second Nomad. And I thought maybe I would do the expansion on my Street Kid, just for the Street Kid experience. But I don't know if I will, because after finding the ending disappointing, I mean, I go through all that hell, and we killed so many people. I mean, my character, V, just walks away from the massacre of the century. I mean, we must have killed 100 people minimum. between the end mission things. And yeah, so, you know, it's just, I mean, it immediately goes into betrayals and backstabbings, and I'm a person of my word. I like to keep my word. You know, my fixer hires me to do a job, I'm paid to do that job. I don't get my personal shit involved. And even then, it's a role-playing game. I think of it from the context of what would V do in this situation, what would I do if I were V. So I don't care about all that. But to get to the point in the game where you've completed the main thrust of the plot, and now it's cleanup, and then the rest of the time it's cleanup, and then lots of cleanup and more cleanup, and then you get to the point where you finally got to do the big mission, and it basically railroads you into doing the rest of the game. And you get to the new ending, and it's game over. Not game over like I asked for in my I Hate Johnny video, but I wanted to be able to continue playing the game with my mercenary who I had gotten used to and built up and spent time with and gotten really invested in. And my first V, I felt like I killed her. I felt like I completely screwed everything up and killed my character. So I felt devastated, like, oh my god, I've just done everything wrong and I've killed my character. But then I played the other endings, and they all end the same way. So I'm like, well, maybe I didn't kill my character. I'll try it again with Street Kid, and I'll do it differently this time, and I'll make different choices and all that kind of thing that you tell yourself you're going to do, and hope there's a different outcome. But it wasn't a different outcome. I did a different ending on that character. I did the Nomad ending first, and then I did the other endings, except for the Arasaka. And it still was the same. But at least you got to play your V after having failed to cure her. And that was basically the entire point of my Why I Hate Johnny video, if I recall. I haven't listened to it. I don't want to. I'm going from now with this version of the game, and it's disappointing to me, because I wanted to continue to play my V even if she's a normal girl, just a face in the crowd. I even wanted to just do that. I thought, I've amassed 2,361,000 eddies, not counting what I've spent on cyber and everything else, and cars and all that stuff, you know, and just constantly spending money. Because I just make more money selling weapons and stuff, and I'm constantly getting paid. So I'm always at 2 million, and I don't have any of my money. I don't have my apartment, all of my friends are gone, I'm all fucking alone. And then it's game over. And I just thought, well, this is a quarter of what I wanted from this. One of the things that crushed me about Witcher 3 was being dropped back at Kaer Morhen, and there's nobody there. Nobody around. Everybody's gone. No Eskel, no Lambert. The only person there is Kira Metz. And I don't know why she's there. Nobody knows why she's there. There's no exact reason to why she's there, but she's still there. I bet if I loaded that game right now, she'd still be standing off to the side where we had the funeral for Vesemir. Played that game so many times. Replayed it and replayed it and replayed it and replayed it, and New Game Plus the hell out of it. I've got 3,600 hours or something in that game. I've got just over 1,700 hours in Cyberpunk, and I've been crushed and disappointed so many times with this game. It's a beautiful game. It's a fantastic game. I've loved playing it. But I'm still kind of bummed. It's like I wanted to see things to the end, and at the end, my girl just walks away into the crowd and disappears. And it's game over. I guess one thing I can say, it didn't seem like Takamura was as pissed off at me. It seemed like the 2 years had given him time to get over it a little bit. So I suppose that's one thing. And that Cuban hit woman didn't come looking for me, so I suppose that's good too. But I'm going to wrap it up by just summarizing that, you know, after all is said and done, and I played Phantom Liberty through, and my V walks off into the crowd and disappears. I kind of miss Johnny. I hate to say it, and I kind of feel bad that I killed him. But on that note, until I get bored or I play some more, this is my basic summary and wrap-up of Cyberpunk 2077/Phantom Liberty. And, like I said, I got about halfway through it, and I was just having so much fun. I kind of wish I had lingered more and just enjoyed what was going on in the game. I'm probably going to do that, and I'm probably going to just finish things up and pretend that I never finished it. And you can too, because it's a wonderful game, and it's beautifully made, and it works. It's always worked really well for me on PC. I've never had problems like the consoles or lower spec PC. Even my lower spec PC I started playing it with in 2020. I didn't have any problems, so I don't know. It was buggy and blah blah blah, but it wasn't that bad. It was fun. And still, the odd car just explodes and flies into the air, which I find endearing. But yep, this is a Mach 3V, and she's all maxed out. I think mostly maxed out. It's not too great. Still got some way to go on the Shinobi. That's another thing they changed. They changed all the skills. So there's a perk point. Woohoo! 1 perk point, I think, is all I have left to get. Yeah, so. Yeah. It's a pain. Lots of new cyberware. Things that weren't there before. Things that were there have been changed. They don't do the same things they used to. So yeah, be warned, spoilers, things are going to change. It's not going to work the way you're used to if you haven't played in a little while. But yeah, I mean, be ready for disappointment, because it's like, if you're like me, you front-loaded your expectations knowing that there's pretty much a 100% guarantee that this is not going to work and your V is still going to be screwed. But hey, maybe not, you know? I mean, some people will see the game over ending as a positive, but right now I'm disappointed. I wanted to continue wrecking Night City with my V. Alrighty, thank you very much.